Hey everybody, my name is Sabrina Diaz. I'm an Emerald Ambassador. And tonight I have a little confession to make. This topic was not what I was supposed to talk about tonight, but I was at the gym today and God placed it on my heart and I felt like it was a very serious God nudge and I had to speak about it. So I'm going to start talking about the power of 1%. And we've talked about this before in Atomic Habits. We've read a couple books about this, but today I had a personal story that I wanted to share what really drove me to speak about this tonight. And I really had to check myself, which, not to pat myself on the back, has shown so much growth within myself because I couldn't see past that for a long time. So I'm going to share that with y'all tonight. But I'm going to go ahead and screen share. Hopefully we have no technical difficulties. And let me see. What's going on?
Is she still talking?
Okay.
No.
Can everybody see that? Let's see if I can get rid of this.
Sabrina, I think you're on mute. And if you want to make me co-host, I can mute people for you if you need.
Should be muted upon entry, but yes, let me see if I can do that. Well, my computer's freezing, so we're just going to go with it. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about the power of 1%. And I went through this first slide, but I wanted to start with this quote. And I'm not sure where it's from, but it really resonated with me. And it said, if you improve by 1% every day, within 1 year, you'll have improved by 365%. And I wrote on the bottom, let that sink in for a second. That's 37 times better than you were when you first started. And it doesn't mean that you're not gradually growing each day. Each day that you put in 1%, you're going to do more than you did yesterday. So it doesn't matter what you are doing, even those tiny little things that you're making those tweaks for, they are changing the way of the future. And I'm going to break that down. So getting 1% better does not have to be for your business alone, and it shouldn't be. That's why we are humans and we are very well-rounded in all aspects of life. That will organically grow your business. It doesn't have anything to do with your business from the start. It's how you construct yourself day in and day out. And that is organically going to complete what you need to do to set yourself up for a successful business. So if you don't continuously make life a more comfortable environment, there is zero chance that you can create the environment, the time, the atmosphere, the organization that you would want for a successful business. So here is a little example, and I'm going to get really vulnerable with you because these are real life scenarios that I have done myself, and I'm sharing them with you because I have learned from these situations, and I'm continuously getting better each day. So if you find yourself in these positions now, just know that there's hope. And if you've transitioned from it, kudos to you. So here's my example. If you have a meeting at 8:30, but it's already 5 p.m. and you're currently driving your child to baseball practice, you haven't planned out dinner, you don't know what you're going to do, you have a chaotic bedtime, do you think you're going to set yourself up wisely for that meeting? Do you feel like you're going to be invested and be able to fully engage in that meeting? Probably not. But if you take just that 1%, Okay, we all make mistakes, but the second time is not a mistake. So if you fix it the second time, just what if, and go with me, what if you just take a few minutes to pre-plan dinner? That takes a whole weight off your shoulder. Now you're not coming in from soccer practice or baseball practice, trying to find something, grabbing unhealthy meals from a drive-through, and it's just chaotic since that. So what if you just pre-plan dinner, make that 1% change? That's going to alleviate a lot of stress off your plate. Then how much easier would it be if you have a full conversation with your significant other about them putting your child to bed that night? That also alleviates a lot of that stress, because now you know your children are fed properly and they're getting kisses and going to sleep, and they're going to be just fine. And you can go upstairs, you can fully engage in your meeting, you can be present, you can have your camera on, you're not sweaty, you're not like out of breath. You know what I'm talking about, because I'm not alone here. But it's just making that 1% change each time and getting better every time. So, have you ever started a list of goals and feel like you haven't gotten any closer to achieving it by the end of the day? I want you to write in the chat, how does that make you feel? If you have a whole list of things and by the end of the day, you feel exhausted and you're tired and you've gotten nothing done, nothing. Let me see. I'm going to see if I flustered. That's a big one. Defeated, stressed, useless. I used that word not too long ago. Incapable, miserable, unworthy. These are all stories, mad at myself, tired. These are all stories that we're telling ourselves because we're not setting ourselves up for success. But we can change that. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about tonight. Undisciplined, disappointed. These are really good answers. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you're ever wondering why you do the actions that you do after feeling this way, it's because your feelings create your actions. So if you're feeling flustered and all over the place, you're going to be disorganized. If you're feeling out of place and uneasy, that's the vibe you're going to be putting off. And don't confuse yourself. You're not only taking that on yourself, you put that out to other people if you want to or not. These are vibes that we put off. So setting yourself up for success, you're also setting others up for success as well. And you're creating your actions, better actions than what you want to put out there to begin with. You're setting yourself up for success. So, did you know if you're feeling overwhelmed, your actions are going to show it? You may be short with your family. That's number one. You never want to do that. You may be cutting corners in places that you don't want to cut. How about doing things half-assed? Has anybody done things half-assed because they just don't have time and they look back like 20 minutes later after it's all said and done and you're like, man, I could have done so much better than that. But you just didn't leave the time for yourself? Or how about getting so overwhelmed that you actually don't do anything at all? That's even a thing. That's called shutdown. You get so overwhelmed that you can't even fathom doing something else. And all that can be changed by just setting yourself up 1% more. Just 1% more. So here is how we do that. What can get you 1% better? Let's drive this together. Let's do this together. I want you to write in the chat, what is one thing that you want to get better at? Just one. And don't overthink it. Get vulnerable. I have a whole list and I'm about to share my vulnerability with all of y'all. Time management. I see that a lot. Task management, time, meal planning. I'm not alone. I'm not very far off from a lot of other prioritizing. That's a big one. Decluttering, planners, working out, having efficient systems, So if you can read the chat, you're probably sitting back thinking, man, I'm not so bad. Because there's other people going through the same thing. Sticking to a system, that's a good one. Sticking to it. And I'm going to talk about how we're going to start sticking to systems. So with that being said, make a list. And I say make a list, we're not going to attack everything all at once, but we're going to make that list so we at least know the direction where we're going. I wrote down a couple of things that I want to get better at, and I've figured out tricks of how I'm going to do those in separate times. I'm not going to do this all at once, but meal planning, I saw that on there. Yo, we have pivotal recipes. It's already done for us. Let's think smarter, not harder. It's right there for us. I want to start meal planning at the beginning of the week. I picked out one from Pivotal. I don't have to worry about next week. I picked out one recipe that I'm going to do this week, and that's what I'm going to focus on. And I'm going to make extra. I'm going to put them in those little containers, put it in my fridge, and I'm going to be set for the entire week. Just one thing. Time management. I'm learning how to use my Google Calendar correctly. I thought I knew what I was doing, but there's so many alerts and notifications that you can send, and they can attach to your watch. So many things that we can do for time management, but you have to make that change to want to get better. Keeping commitments, that was a big one for me. I have made a promise to myself that I'm going to RSVP and show up to at least one event this month. Just one. It doesn't have to be more than that. Just one commitment, and just stick with it. You're going to feel so much better being surrounded by other people, but sometimes getting there, we overthink it. Working out, I'm not talking about getting like an entire membership, guys. I'm not talking about going 7 days a week and crushing it at the gym. I'm talking walk through the door. Just walk through the door. That's 1% better than you did yesterday. Just walk through the door. Okay, go walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes. And that's what piqued this conversation today. So another thing was chores. One room at a time. My girlfriend told me this the other day. She's like, I choose one room. That's the only thing I do. And I'm thinking, man, my house is, I have to clean this whole house. I'm never going to have time. That's where that hot and sweaty and flustered and all that other stuff comes from. Just one room. You can get that room brand spanking new, and then you feel good about yourself and just hang out in that one room all day long. You don't have to go anywhere else. Just stay in that one room, but you feel better. But that's just 1% better in your entire house. Laundry, setting one day. Don't do laundry all week. Set one day to do your laundry, and that's going to get you 1% better. That's going to feed your soul. It's going to get done. You're going to have more time to do other things. How about reading a book? Let's talk about personal growth books. Those are fantastic. I'm talking about reading any book, finding that time to read anything. Fallon said one time, and it always stuck with me, read for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, that's all it takes. 10 minutes of reading, and you're good to go. You don't have to read the whole book. You don't have to read several chapters. 10 minutes of reading can get you enough for that night. Okay. So choose one thing to get better at. Do not put too many things on your plate at one time. And let's face this, we've all done this before. And I'm going to give you a little scenario, but this is another thing that I'm sure we can all, answer back with. We set whoever, I'm sorry, I'm in the. Okay, so we set these outrageous goals for ourselves, right? We set these monstrous goals. We want to go to the gym. So instead of just going through the door or walking on the treadmill for 30 minutes, we're like, you know what? I'm going to go to the gym for 2 hours every day. I'm going to go 7 days a week. So I go on the weekend so I can get a jump start. Okay. I'm also going to meal prep and not eat any carbs or sugar. Never again. Not going to do it. I'm also going to get an accountability group. So I show up every single day. This is all going to happen at once. This is what typically happens. And if this doesn't happen to you, amen to you, but this happens all the time. Monday, that might work fantastic. Tuesday might work. By Wednesday, I can guarantee you, your body is so like sore and in shock that you're hurting, you're hangry, you're like, what did I commit to? By Thursday, you're talking yourself into a rest day. And then by Friday, you've probably quit. If you didn't already quit on Thursday. That's probably where we're all leading to, because we didn't give ourselves the accountability that we need. You can't just jump start into this brand new full-blown routine and expect to be the best at it. You have to do 1%. Start on Monday, just going through the door. Then Tuesday, do maybe 10 minutes more than you did the day before, and then 10 minutes more. And I'm going to tell you why. Because taking on too much, you're going to burn yourself out. And then you're going to start telling yourself horrible things. And then the feelings are going to create the actions that you do not want. So getting ahead of that beforehand is going to save you for what is about to come if you set yourself up on that path. So some tips: get a good routine first. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Get a good routine at the gym. Don't worry about the meal planning. Don't worry about the accountability group. Just get to the gym and do that. Get comfortable with what you're doing. Make it a habit. Then you could add on something else. Once you feel comfortable and you feel like you're pretty consistent with that, then you could add a little something more. But if you're not consistently moving forward by 1% with the current situation, you are not ready to add something else. And that is a huge red flag. It's a huge red flag. If you start feeling flustered, step back and evaluate the situation. You're doing too much. So how can 1% actually achieve anything? And I'm going to tell you the personal story that I was doing this morning, and it rocked me sideways. So I don't know if anybody knows, but I had a freak accident about 6 months ago, and it took me out of the gym. The gym is my happy place. I've been going for over 20 years. It's just my thing. I loved it. I was probably the best at the gym. I was the best in the class. I loved it. I showed up all the time. And then I couldn't step foot in a gym for at least 6 solid months. And I went back, and if anybody knows, if you stop at the gym, you go back to like day one. Like it takes like 48 hours and all that work is like gone. So I started slow. I'm like, man, not really where I want to be. And then I went on vacation. Oh my goodness. I went on vacation all last week. And so today was day one back at the gym, and I'm on the treadmill and I'm walking so slow. I'm walking so slow, and I'm thinking, you are wasting your time, Sabrina. This is getting you nowhere. You are wasting your time. You're not even sweating. What are you doing? And I had to catch myself really quick. I had to catch myself because, listen, I didn't do it for 6 months because I couldn't. I did 1% than I did yesterday. And that's all that matters. I showed up. I was there. I was on the treadmill, no matter how fast I was walking, no matter if I was jogging or wogging or whatever I was doing, I was there and I showed up. And then I thought, I'm coming again tomorrow. So then I'm going to be 2% better than I was yesterday. And then by the end of the week, I'm going to be 7% better than where I was today. And that's because I'm only going to push myself 1% more, because then if I don't, I'm not going to show up at all. And that's the worst that you can do, is push yourself too hard and then show up not at all. Little pieces. So routines are great, but can this work for emotions too? What do you think? Yes, it absolutely can. It's fun to get into really good routines, but let's say you're struggling with being empathetic. You can work one time, one situation a day. If you're talking to somebody, just put yourself in their shoes. Put yourself in their position just for that one situation. That's going to help you on how to be empathetic. Are you going to change overnight? No. No, if that's not a strength of yours, make it a strength. You can. Let's say if you want to be more sincere, okay? Express your gratefulness for what someone has done for you, just one time. If somebody's bagging your groceries at the food store, thank them. Thank them. That is showing that you are sincerely thankful that they are there. That's one less thing that you had to do. Be sincere. If you want to be more confident, get outside of your comfort zone. I don't know if you guys can still see me. So you get outside of your comfort zone. If you want to be more patient, slow down. Slow down, show more gratitude, listen without responding immediately. That is how you gain patience. And these skills, guys, these come with time. These aren't things that you're just going to gain overnight, but try using these skills just 1% each day. And what that does, 1% more each day, that creates a habit. And when you create a habit, that's a new style of life. But you can't create a habit unless you do it 1% each day, because consistency builds a habit. So, oops, sorry guys. So the best part about this is it can work on anything. It's not just your business. It's not just your marriage. It's not just routines. It's not just friendships. It's everything as a whole. So yes, it's going to take a little effort, but once you've achieved consistency, getting 1% each day out of your comfort zone, and eventually turns into a habit for long lasting results. And that's what we're in this business for. We want long lasting results, because long lasting results, it creates a lifetime of freedom. So with that being said, my final thought to you is stop giving up on yourself so quickly, because you don't have to do it all at once, and you can do it little by little each day, and you're going to become who you want to be in the future. So that is all that I have for you tonight. Sorry for all the technical difficulties, but I hope you got a lot out of this call, and we'll see you next week. Have a good night.